About October 13th, I'm in Leadville, Colorado, where we'll see some original architecture of the West. 1890. The older buildings like this, I'm always intrigued by those older entrances. What were they for? Why were they removed? I love this old Western architecture in the context of Western America. You wonder what that term meant in the old days. There, Jed's old location, which used to be many things. It's a pawn shop now, but it used to be a bar with bikers and miners, a rough place. That's where the bullet holes came from. The ceiling dates back to 1886, as does the building.
Part of the original building.
Notice the bullet holes.
Oh yeah, yeah. It is just a beautiful place.
Yeah, well, it's good that there's the history here, including yourself.
Yes, yes it is. Well, I grew up all my life with my grandparents, and they would go up back roads.
I just chatted with the last of his family to live up here, and his family was one of the first to live up here when the French had a trading post and the Ute Indians came up here in the summertime before they migrated to the hot springs in the winter. Restored just a little bit, enough to give us a sense of what it might have looked like in the day. Herald-Democrat since 1879, still in business, I'll be damned. Pretty old building. You would think it was a church at one time. Let's see if we can boot a thunk. Look at the interesting architecture, though, for a mining town. Interesting to compare these to the ones I saw in Iceland recently. And this would have been beautiful stained glass. Broken out, ripped out. But still there though. Piece of mining equipment moved up here for we tourists. If you want to live in the midst of history in a lovely old home, you can buy this one. Imagine the relations between these well-to-do neighbors across the street. Oh, to know the history in detail, to somehow recreate it. The old house almost looks like that door's cattywampus, doesn't it? Maybe the whole building. This is the National Mining Hall of Fame and Museum. What it originally was, I don't know, but I was intrigued by the older elements of the building. Can't make out how that's significant to mining. And the families that were referred to as the folks who lived in the home up here on the corner on the top of the hill. And what stories could be told about the rooms and the trees that were planted? Who did that? What did he imagine? It's part of what drew me to Leadville, but it's theoretically closed this time of year. 1878 by August R. Meyer, builder of Leadville's first reduction works, given to the Leadville Historical Association in 1936. wonder if the gazebo really did exist here, but it's situated so it has magnificent views, not only over Leadville, but of the surrounding mountains that sadly we are prevented from getting in there now, and everything's closed so you can't see in old Dexter Cabin. The man I just spoke with is doing some restoration work on the house, but he repaired and replaced these lower two logs 15 years ago. He apparently works for the state on such kind of state-supported monuments. And this was erected in 1879 by James Viola Dexter, pioneer Leadville mining man. Imagine if there was a deck here, or a porch. That looks like a little add-on structure there. He would have had great views. That view of this home, I'm guessing this was restored and owned by people who live in it. Museum now, but I wonder if it was a library, if that is Carnegie or if it's Garnegie. Good that houses like this still exist, but it's sad to see it literally crumbling under its own weight. You would wish that somehow it could be restored. You hope that businesses that have taken the time to restore these old buildings and run a business inside of them are successful. '86, Delaware Hotel, now Mercantile. Imagine when this was the height of fashion, perhaps, in hotels. May have been its more grand entrance corner. I wonder if the large windows were to display the perhaps opulent salon in the entry area. There were different size buildings even in their day. I wonder if there's always been access like that to the second floor at the back. And notice that these buildings on this side are up about 2 feet from grade of the road. The detail. When we visit old towns, oftentimes the only thing of interest is on the main street, and we forget that the side streets were to some degree equally important. The detail on the windows of this old bank. Elegance with these faux columns. Pretty little building. The last that remains in that entire block, it looks like. Look at a crumbling foundation about to be restored, it appears. We've seen it all in the movies. Close-up view of the old Tabor Opera House. Substantial entryway. It's interesting to look at the slabs of rock that were brought in just for this particular Opera House building.